What if the mattress is really moldy? What if the pillow has blood stains on it? More often than not, these accommodations are going to be pretty below average. Hello Huckleberries, welcome to a long-awaited Q&A. Let me just say right off the bat, thank you guys so much for your patience. I posted this video 3 weeks ago asking for your guys' questions, and I am now just getting to filming it. For those of you who did ask questions, you guys have some really good ones in here. I'm very excited to answer them, but thank you for waiting. For those of you who don't know, who might be new to my channel, I was woofing or workawaying on the Big Island of Hawaii for 11 months. I just moved from the Big Island to Oahu, and I'm now starting up, I don't know, a new form of existence, a more traditional, working a real job and paying rent, and we'll talk about that later. That's not for this video. But I have so many videos all about my experiences workawaying and woofing. So if you do want to learn more about it, I have so many videos on the topic. I will link the playlist down below. But without further ado, let's just dive right into the questions that you guys asked me. Have you met any woofers or workawayers that bring their dog? Personally, no, but I have heard of it happening. I would think it would be really difficult to find a place, but it can be done. Do hosts ever offer employment upon a worker's completion? I know one person who I met at my first woofing farm, and he actually became employed by the host. He was doing a lot of hard labor and maintenance and overseeing the other workers and stuff, but it is possible to find a situation like that, but I wouldn't ever go into a situation expecting it. Have you been able to make friends around you, or are you very secluded at the farm? The first farm I stayed at was through WWOOF USA, and there were, I think, 6 people there, and I became friends with a couple of them. I also did not like some of them. It is a case-by-case scenario, and it is really easy for you to seek out the type of living situation that you want on a social aspect. I had a really terrible roommate at that first farm. So going into my second place, which I found through WorkAway, I was really specific on finding places that I didn't have to share a room with someone. I was there with one other person, maybe 2 other people, but the majority of the time I was there, I was all by myself. And it got extremely lonely and isolating at times because I am so extroverted. Being in tune with what works for you and being flexible to changing places depending on those sorts of scenarios happening where you aren't in good company or you have no company and you want company. When you are going through that searching process, that interview process of finding a WWOOF or workaway farm, all you have to do is just look for places that have multiple people if you want that. What are good questions to ask a potential host to ensure that you have a good experience at their farm? I think just asking as many questions as you can. I have found a lot of woofing and workaway profiles to be quite vague, which I understand. There's no need to get into a lot of details right off the bat, but making sure that you're asking what kind of food they're providing, how they deal with schedules, what hours you're going to be working, what sorts of jobs you're going to be doing, where you're located and how you can expect to get around, asking how far you are from the nearest grocery store. These are all really important questions. I just think asking a lot of questions is helpful, and it'll show the host that you actually care. But ultimately, a lot of these places you will not know if you're going to like until you actually get there, and that's just the cold, hard truth. So having a backup plan, having the funds available to get a hotel if you need it. Have any woofers worked you too hard? I heard of a couple working for 6 to 8 hours a day, every day in Portugal. Okay, well, I would not put up with that. I would leave. Because most people are woofing and workawaying because they're on vacation. They want to explore and see places and go hiking and go to the beach, whatever. My first woofing farm, the host did try to take advantage. She'd keep you working until you said, okay, well, we should wrap it up. I was working 5 days a week, 5-hour days. And that's really typical. You can definitely find farms that will work you more hours than that, and you can find farms that will work you less hours than that. But 25, especially on the Big Island, was really, really typical. So 5-hour days, 5 days a week. There were plenty of times where she would just let us keep working past that 5-hour mark, and you would just have to say something. And I don't know if it was necessarily on purpose, but I did feel at times like she was milking us a little harder than was agreed upon, you could say. I don't know why anyone would stick around in that kind of situation. Just have a backup plan, you know? Okay, so this next question is a little more personal. Do you ever feel weird or left out not taking a traditional path, or are you totally comfortable with your own choices? For those of you who are new here, I started this channel when I moved into my Mazda 5, and I traveled all over the US and Canada for 6 months. After that point, I decided to move out to Hawaii and try WWOOFing and WorkAwaying. I didn't go to a 4-year college. I went to cosmetology school. I did hair for 5 years before I started traveling. So yes, you could say my life has been relatively unconventional as far as an American goes. There have been times throughout my life where I've felt pretty insecure about it, and between the ages of 20 until maybe 23, I was in a really severe quarter-life crisis. I might still be, I'm not sure. But when I was in the thick of the quarter-life crisis, yes, I did feel badly. Sometimes I still get mad that I didn't go to college. But whenever those feelings start to come up, I squash them immediately because it is so toxic to think that way and to be insecure about things that are just so beyond you. I have always been unconventional. I've always done things differently than my peer group. I've never blended in. I tend to either stick out or hide, one of the two. We all have our own life path. If you want to call it a destiny, we all have a destiny. So am I totally comfortable with my life choices? Of course not. No. We all have every right to question ourselves, and I think questioning ourselves is important in making sure that you're in check. I don't know. I think it's good to keep yourself in check and to have hindsight, practice hindsight, because how can you grow? How can you get better if you're just blindly okay with everything that happens? So no, I'm not always totally comfortable with it, but I don't think I would have it any other way. This is kind of specific. Do you deal with fire ants? I was on Big Island, Puna side, in March until May, and I had them all the time. Seeing you crawl in the dirt gives me fire ant anxiety. No, we did not have ants. I mean, we had some ants. So the main highway, Mamalahoa, ocean side of Mamalahoa, had tons of ants. The mountain side of Mamalahoa had very few ants. So my first place had so many, but I don't think they were fire ants. I think they were just kind of like regular but big ants. The moisture levels Kona side are just a lot lower than Hilo side where Puna is, so we just don't have as many bugs, which is great. What do you like most and least about WorkAway and WWOOFing? The thing I like most about it is the adventure. I love an opportunity to get out of my comfort zone, to learn new things, meet new people, and I think WorkAway and WWOOFing is such an affordable and short-term option. It really makes it possible for people who don't have a lot of money to travel, and I think that is absolutely the best part about it. My least favorite part about WWOOFing and WorkAway is the lack of security. You really can't have a lot of expectations. You have to make a lot of compromise, and you have no ownership over the situation. Obviously, you can decide to leave. You can decide how you want to navigate and deal with challenges or conflicts that might come your way through WWOOFing and WorkAwaying. Obviously, we have so much control over ourselves, but to not own the bed that they provide you, what if the mattress is really moldy? What if the pillow has blood stains on it? More often than not, these accommodations are going to be pretty below average. So just having to deal with that sort of thing. And not to generalize, but I do think that woofing and workawaying is best to do while you're young, because when you live with mom and dad, you also don't really own anything, and you are kind of at the mercy of them. And, you know, as we age, we gain more independence and more control. You know, we start with getting a driver's license and getting a job, and then we move out, maybe go to college or something. But working and woofawaying oftentimes can feel like that, like, oh, I'm back in a dorm where there's tons of rules. My first woofing farm, I was not allowed to talk on the phone. I was not allowed to sing. I really couldn't make any noise at all. So being prepared to lose a lot of really simple freedoms that you might not expect, just being prepared for that sort of thing. And just the lack of security in the fact that they can kick you out whenever they want. They might cancel on you last minute. That happens all the time. And just not having that sense of security. That was a long one. What made you decide to stop doing WorkAway and WOOF? I am broke. There were times when I would work a second job on top of WorkAway and woofing, but especially being that I make a lot of YouTube videos, it just didn't give me any time to have fun or go hiking or go to the beach. And so I need a job. It was really the financial need over anything else. I've worked my way into a little bit of debt. It is time that I crawl out of that. And also, yeah, I just feel old. Like, I'm only 26. Well, I turned 27 in like a week. But I just want to have control over my life, and I felt like I was giving up a huge part of that control because I was workawaying and woofing and stuff. But mostly it was just because I need money. And the last question, good little segue, I can give you a little life update, but are you leaving Hawaii or not? And that question has two answers. Yes, I left Hawaii. I left the island of Hawaii, okay? People got mad at me because I moved to Oahu, and everyone was confused, and they're like, aren't you leaving Hawaii? But it's like, yes, I left the island of Hawaii. I wasn't trying to trick you guys, especially because now that I am on Oahu, which is where I am, still in the state of Hawaii, it's true, but now that I'm on Oahu, it does not feel like Hawaii, especially in comparison to the Big Island. So in so many ways, I feel like, yes, I have left. I am back to a very normal existence. The fact that I was even able to find a quiet place at this park is insane. Because I am now living in Honolulu. I'm in the city. I have gotten an apartment. I don't know when this video is going up, but if it's before the vlogs, after the vlogs, I don't really know. But I moved here with no job, no money, no apartment. I sound insane. And I'm gonna give it a shot. Really just working my way out of debt and being able to still be surrounded by beauty. The oceans here, the mountains here are insane, and yet I can be back in the city where I love to be. I am on Oahu right now. I have gotten an apartment. I have gotten a job. Everything is so new, so I just don't really have a lot to say on it. But thank you guys so much for being there for me and caring and being annoyed at me when I don't share with you guys what you want to know right away. I really do practice boundaries with YouTubing and vlogging and stuff, and I want to have experiences for myself and time to myself and time to reflect on things before I share them with you. So will I ever woof again? Will I ever use WorkAway? Probably. I honestly have walked away feeling so prepared to do it again in the future. I will never do it for as long as I've done it this round. I think it's a great short-term option. I have an awesome video about when is woofing worth it. Definitely watch that. That's a really good video to decide what scenarios it's appropriate to do it in and when you're gonna get the most out of it. But that's all I have to say on the topic for now. Please go ahead and comment below any follow-up questions that you have about WorkAway or woofing, and I will either answer it below or I will send you a link to a video that answers your question. But again, the whole playlist is linked below. Please go and check those out. I've put so much time and effort into these videos, so I hope that you guys can take something away from them. So that's all I have for today. I haven't filmed in a couple of weeks, and I love sitting down and talking with you guys, and it helps me to feel really connected with my huckleberries. So thank you so much for watching and listening and caring. For everyone who asked questions, thank you, thank you, thank you. I know it's supposed to be Vlogmas right now, but it just doesn't feel like Vlogmas. Also, every time I do Vlogmas, well, the last 2 years I've done Vlogmas, I always reach the halfway point and I'm just miserable. Because daily vlogging is so hard, and especially with my life being a little hectic right now, it's just not a thing. So stay tuned for some Christmas themed videos, and I hope you guys are all enjoying your cold winters and stuff. I'm a little sad being away, even though I love that I'm in a tank top right now. Also, look at this view. This is my neighborhood, you guys. This view is what I get to look at every single day. I love it. I'm rambling. If you guys want more videos like this one, don't forget to give it a big old thumbs up so I know, and I will see you all again really soon. In the meantime, I hope you're all doing very well. Peace.